A sad poem without words. Empress Zhen of Cao Pai, Emperor of Wei. Zhen, also known as Zhen, was born in the 5th year of Guanghe in the Eastern Han Dynasty 182 to an official family. Her father, Zhen, was a magistrate in Shanghai and was a descendant of Zhen Han, a prime minister of the Han Dynasty. Zhen was the youngest daughter of the Zhen family and was cherished as the jewel in the family's crown. Soon after Zhen was born, she cried and fussed daily, moved her limbs around, and often stomped of the quilt. However, the family often had visions of someone holding a jade garment over her body and were amazed.
When Zhen was 3 years old, her father died.
On one occasion, the Zhen family invited a face reader named Yu Liang to read her face.
When Yu Liang saw Zhen, he was stunned and said, "This girl is too precious to be spoken of."
Zhen was indeed a bit different from other girls.
The 8-year-old children should be outside the jumping, home pampering age.
One day, the sisters are excited to go to the attic to watch the circus, but only Zhen does not go. She thinks this kind of publicity, which a girl can do.
Her sisters thought she had a point. When she was 9 years old, Zhen borrowed her brother's writing utensils to write and compose when they were not in the study. When her brothers found out, they blamed her, but Zhen tilted her head
and said thoughtfully, "None of the wise women of the ancient times did learn the principles of being a man from the ancient books. If you don't read books, how could you know this?" Zhen's brothers were amazed, and all admired her. Zhen was so bright and intelligent that she could write good characters and poems soon. At the end of the Eastern Han Dynasty, Dong Zhuo burned down the palaces in Luoyang.
He coerced Emperor Shan to move the capital to Chang'an, leaving millions of Luoyang without food and clothing. Under such circumstances, many people exchanged their jewelry for food at a low price.
The Zhen family was wealthy, so they exchanged grain for gold, silver and jewels.
At that time, Zhen was only 10 years old.
She advised her mother, Zhang, not to take the opportunity to buy the treasures of the victims. If she did so, it would cause public anger. Instead, she advised her mother to use the grain in the family's
storehouse to relieve her relatives, friends and neighbors, and to be kind to them.
Zhang gladly accepted her daughter's advice. After Zhen's father, Zhen died, his elder brother, Zhen also died tragically early. When he was 14, his second brother, Zhen Yan, also left a wife and son behind. Zhen was incredibly saddened by the death of her second brother, who had been working as an official and was the backbone of the Zhen family, but his death was a heavy blow to the family.
Seeing that her mother Zhan was not lenient enough with her sister-in-law, Zhen urged her mother to sympathize with her,
saying to her mother, she told her mother, "Your sister-in-law was widowed at such a young age and had to bring up a child. You should treat your sister-in-law better than you did when your second brother was alive,
and love her like your own daughter, to give your sister-in-law comfort."
Mother was very touched. Zhen also took the initiative to ask her mother to live with her second sister-in-law so that she could raise her young nephew.
Her sister-in-law was so grateful to Zhen that she praised Zhen to everyone, and Zhen's reputation as a virtuous woman spread throughout the countryside.
Yuan Shao, who occupied the states of Hebei, Qing, Yu, and Ping, was a native of Ruyang in Runin present day southwest of Shangshu, Hannan province, and had 3 sons. Yuan Shao heard that there was a beautiful and virtuous woman named Zhen under his rule,
so he sent someone to ask for the hand of his second son, Yuan Zai.
Yuan Shao heard about a beautiful and virtuous woman named Zhen under his rule,
so he sent someone to ask for his second son Yuan Zai's hand in marriage, and the Zhen family dared not refuse, so Zhen married Yuan Zai.
Yuan Shao sent Yuan Zai to Yuzhou as an assassin, and Yuan Zai had to leave his newlywed Zhen to take up his post in Yuzhou. On the day of his departure, Zhen saw her husband leave Yeqing. After Yuan Zai's departure, Zhen accompanied Yuan Shai's wife, Mrs. Yu, day and night,
bringing her tea and food and doing her duty as a daughter-in-law. In 204 AD, Cao defeats Yuan Shan and enters Yeqing,
where Yuan's residents and the wives and concubines of his son are all subject to Cao. Cao's second son, Cao Pai, entered Yuan's residence just after entering the city. After Yuan Zai took office in Yuzhou, Zhen Luo was unhappy. She was even more worried about her husband when Yuan Shang and Yuan Tan met each other in war. When the news came that Xiao's army had invaded the city, she waited only for death.
When Xiao Pai entered, she was so scared that she did not raise her head.
Xiao Pai ordered her to raise her head. Although Zhen Luo did not feel good in her heart, she raised her head reluctantly. Xiao Pai lifted Zhen Luo's hair but saw a goose-egg face with two big black eyes, two curved long eyebrows as if artificially painted, a nose straight and delicate, skin as white as jade, hair full of the head, charming and moving. Xiao Pai had never seen such a beautiful woman before, and was mesmerized for half a day and reluctantly got up to take his leave. Xiao later ordered Zhen Luo to be brought here and given to Xiao Pai as his wife. Xiao Pai loved Zhen Luo's beauty, but he also loved her literary talent. Within a few years, Zhen Luo gave Xiao Pai a son and a daughter, later Emperor Xiao Hai and Princess Dongqing. Xiao Pai favored Zhen Luo, but she was not exclusive. Whenever Xiao Pai visited her, she advised him not to neglect his other concubines. Xiao Pai, therefore, favored her even more. Xiao Pai, however, thought that his wife, Ren, was narrow-minded and violent and decided to abolish her.
With tears in her eyes, Zhen Luo pleaded for Ren's favor, saying, "Everyone knows that you very much favor me, and people will think that I am the one who stirred up the trouble if Mrs. Ren is abolished."
I hope you will not abolish Ren.
But Xiao Pai abolished Ren anyway.
Zhen Luo was too bright and skillful at scheming. To get an intense backstage, she begged Xiao Pai's mother, Mrs. Bian, for her favor. In 211 AD, in the 7th month of the 16th year of Jian, Xiao went on a westward expedition against Hansua and Ma Chao. Xiao Pai was defending Yeking, and Mrs. Bian fell ill in the middle of her journey and had to recuperate in Mengjin. Zhen Luo saw this as an excellent opportunity to win Mrs. Bian's favor, so she wanted to go to Mengjin to care for her mother-in-law. Xiao Pai naturally refused to let her go. Zhen Luo was so anxious that she cried day and night. In the 17th year of Jian, Xiao returned to Yeking. When Mrs. Bian's palanquin appeared in the distance, Zhen Luo burst into tears and was overjoyed. Mrs. Bian stepped out of the sedan chair and was moved to tears. In 220 AD, Xiao died of an illness. In October of the same year, Xiao Pai established himself in place of the Han dynasty, with the name of the state Wei, the year Huangqiu, and the capital city of Luowan.
In Xiao Pai's harem was a concubine called Wei, who was younger, prettier and wiser than Zhen Luo and was favored by Xiao Pai.
Soon Guo replaced Zhen Luo in Xiao Pai's mind. When Xiao Pai wanted to set up a queen, Guo tried to provoke Xiao Pai and Zhen Luo so that Zhen Luo became increasingly neglected.
Later, Xiao Pai made Guo Wei his empress. To express her anger, Zhen Luo wrote her only surviving work, Walking on the Pond, which reveals her sad and emotional state of mind.
The poem reads, "The bushes are born in my pond, and their leaves are not separated."
If you can do benevolence and righteousness, nothing is better than a concubine's self-knowledge.
The many mouths of the gold make the king be parted.
I am always sad and miserable when I think of you leaving me. I want to see the color of your face, and I feel sad.
When I think of you, I can't sleep at night.
Don't give up what you love because you are a great man.
Don't let fish and meat be cheap. Don't let onions and flags be abandoned.
I don't want to give up my favorite things because I don't want to be cheap on him. But I want to give up my favorite things.
I have been in and out of sorrow, and I have been in and out of sorrow, and I have been in and out of sorrow.
Many said winds are on the border, and the trees are not well tended.
If you are happy, you will live 1,000 years. When Xiao Pai heard this, he was furious and killed Zhen Luo. In the 6th month of 221 AD, Zhen Luo took the poisoned wine given to her by Xiao Pai in despair and drank it all in one go. After her death, Zhen Luo was buried in Yeking.
Fearing that Zhen's ghost would complain to the king of hell, Empress Guo ordered that her body be buried with her hair covering her face,
and her mouth stuffed with trash so that she would not be able to see anyone and would not be able to speak. In 226 AD, Xiao Pai, the Emperor of Wei, died, and Xiao Hai, the Crown Prince, succeeded to the throne as Emperor Ming of Wei.
He posthumously honored his mother, Zhen as Empress Wenzhou, and erected a temple for her worship.